Welcome back to another testimony. So this one, I have the date for it. This is 20 October 2015, right? So when I was a young girl, I had the gift of dreams. Like that's something I had since I was little. But then some of my dreams were nightmares. They weren't pleasant, and I didn't like some of the dreams that I had. So at one point, I prayed and I said, God, take away this gift of dreaming. I don't want to dream anymore because I was tired. I didn't know what to do when I get nightmares. And it happened. I the dreams stopped. I didn't dream anymore. And then there was a preacher who came around, and then in his sermon, he just said, some of you don't even dream. So how will you know what God is saying to you? Some of you don't read the Bible. How will you know what God is saying to you? You don't go to church, something like that. And I was like, oh, so dreaming is actually a gift from God. So I prayed again. I said, oh God, I'm sorry. I didn't know. Can you give me back the gift of dreaming? And it came back. But it came back the same. A lot of times I would have nightmares and I didn't know what to do with that. So the way I coped when I was a young girl, because I didn't have mentorship, I didn't have anyone to ask what to do. So the way I would cope was when I was down and I was afraid to sleep, I would just say, God, please, can I sleep in heaven? And somehow that made that I would have good dreams. I know it's silly, but it was my way of coping when I was a young girl. So at this time, I I kind of thought, oh, I kind of thought back and I said, oh, when I was young, I used to do this. So I told myself, let me do it now that I'm older. Let me see what happens. So I prayed and I said, God, can I please sleep in heaven today? And I slept. So when I slept, I had two dreams, and this is the first one. So in all my testimonies, when I mention names, I'm just gonna say an initial. I won't say the full name of somebody. But I dreamt, and this is a famous Hollywood singer. I will call her Ara. Her name starts with Ara. So Ara was speaking blasphemous words from the book she had written, questioning the word of God, saying, "What is this word?" And and then I saw another popular Hollywood singer. This time it's a guy. The R is a lady. So D was pierced by two swords. So I saw this Hollywood singer pierced. So one sword went from his head down, and the other sword went across from his belly across, so that the swords that pierced him formed a cross in his body. So these people, RRD and their cohorts, I guess, they were giving people something that looked like a red box. And on top of that red box was an image of what looked like a snake or a dragon. They were giving people these things. A red box on top is an image of a snake or a dragon. So all this time that I'm dreaming, there's a popular song by W, which is playing in the background. Um, so I won't mention the song, I don't know, but it's, Hollywood music. So I woke up, it was 17 minutes past 3, and I began to wonder, what is the meaning of this? Like, usually when I ask to sleep in heaven, I don't have nightmares or weird dreams of snakes and dragons. But anyway, it registered in my mind and I went back to sleep. Then I had a second dream. This time I dreamt I was in a big house and someone started prophesying. Someone was prophesying and someone else was manifesting and running. A demon was manifesting climb and running, and that person was manifesting was climbing up the stairs in the house. So I noticed that there were two lamps in the ceiling of the house, one lamp, and then so it was myself and another girl and Prophet B. Like I said, I won't mention names. I'll just put an initial. So Prophet B went up the stairs together with me and another girl. Then so the other girl was saying, why did this man climb here? Now we will make noise for the elders. Then someone poured oil in my hand, and I rubbed the oil in my hands. Then all of a sudden, after rubbing the oil in my hands, we were no longer in the house, we were outside. We were now outside. And as we were outside, it was like we were in a big stadium. So Prophet B was addressing the people who were the congregation that was there, and he was saying, people are preparing themselves for Christ, for the coming of Christ. That's what the message was when he was addressing. And then immediately things began to fall from the sky, like large bricks, and everybody started running away to find shelter. Then it no longer looked like large bricks, and now it looked like an aeroplane falling. It seemed like as they approached the earth, those things looked now bigger and bigger. So I also ran with everyone to find shelter, and then afterwards it became completely dark, and I was afraid. But that girl who was beside me when we were in the big house going upstairs was still beside me. So when I was afraid, she was excited, and she just said, let me just look at my notes. The girl was excited that Jesus was coming. Yeah. So she was excited that Jesus was coming. And then I remembered the scriptures. And then I told the girl, I told her, the skies will be rolled out like a carpet. As soon as I said it, it happened. The skies rolled out like a carpet. I was already dreaming, but in my dream, it felt like a dream, because how can the sky roll out like a carpet? So somebody started singing. Apparently, it's a popular gospel song, but I didn't remember it when I woke up. Then we all started singing. Then I woke up at 5:10 in the morning. So I just wrote down the dream or the vision, whatever it is, because I thought, oh, what could it mean? The first dream, the second dream, like in my own thinking, the snake and the dragon definitely means Satan, and an image of it being given out to people sounds like the mark of the beast to me. And then the second dream, I was thinking, okay, a house, someone is prophesying, someone is manifesting, and then there's someone besides me. So I think the girl besides me is an angel. That's what I think. And events happening like they are told in the Bible, that they signal the end times, and the message of saying people are preparing themselves. A lot of people were gathered to hear the prophet speak, and the prophet was saying people are preparing themselves for the coming of Jesus. And then immediately after, the things dropping out, whether it's the stars dropping out, whether it's a nuclear bomb, I don't know, the things dropping out from the sky, people just running everywhere, it being dark, and then us singing and not being terrified when the atmosphere was terrifying. That's the message I got, that Jesus is coming and it's essential to prepare. So after that dream, after I recorded it, when I was just doing my Bible study, I then was reading in Genesis, and I realized that um, Joseph interpreted the dreams of the king of Egypt. And what happened when the king of Egypt told him, that's Pharaoh actually, the had the theme of the thing is that he had two dreams. So Pharaoh tells Joseph, I had two dreams. One, I slept and I dreamt, he kind of dreamt plenty, and then woke up, slept again, dreamt of famine. So Pharaoh had two dreams, and I was like, oh, that sounds similar, like to what I did. I slept, I dreamt something, I slept again, I dreamt something. Two dreams that are kind of different to each other, but all the same related. So when Joseph now gives Pharaoh the interpretation, in if you read from Genesis 41, verse 25, it says, and Joseph said unto Pharaoh, the dream of Pharaoh is one. God has shown Pharaoh what he's about to do. At that time, I had NIV, and I remember, I think, I will check out the translation later, but I think it said, God has shown Pharaoh two dreams because the matter is firmly decided with God, and he would do it quickly, something like that. That is firmly decided, even though it's still the same thing, just different interpretations. But the thing is, it's one, and it's firmly decided. God is about to do it. So Jesus is coming back soon. He's coming without delay, and what he wants us to do is to prepare. And if you see in the case of Joseph and Pharaoh, what happened next after the interpretation of the dream was that preparations began in preparations to what the dream had mentioned, and they stored their harvest in preparation for the year of famine. So that's exactly what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to prepare in preparation for his coming, because the coming of Jesus, like it says in the Bible, is like a thief in the night. So if we, in our intelligent capacity, prepare for the coming of a thief and we insert burglar alarms, we put security in our houses, that's the same thing. Even the coming of Christ is a preparation. We prepare our hearts to be right with God. We prepare ourselves so that we are not caught up in the world and are left behind. So you have no reason to be terrified or to be afraid, because even the angel or the girl beside me in my dream, she was excited that Jesus is coming. So the coming of Jesus is actually good news to us who believe, unless you're someone who doesn't believe. But if you believe, then it's good news. And just praying, opening our hearts, God, what area do I need to put my house in order? Which area do I need to improve on? Is there any part of my life that I haven't surrendered unto you? What you want me to do? So for me, these videos and testifying, I believe it's also part of my preparation. But God will show you what your preparation is going to be like. So thank you, and see you next time.